Hey guys, and welcome to my review of Ready to Love, The Last Resort. Come on in, kings and queens, and get ready to find out about what you've missed in case you've been busy. I have named this episode of my review as Emotional Baggage. You gon' miss your bus. You gotta hurry up, 'cause you got too much stuff. When they see you coming, they just take off running. So that's pretty much what's happening. Some of the ladies on this season of Ready to Love, Last Resort, they are carrying emotional baggage. Now, we are already familiar with Denise. Denise is seeing narcissism when she talks to Rashid. So she and Rashid sat down and talked it out. Apparently, because he's light skinned, he's a Kappa, he drives nice cars. Denise had a bad experience with somebody like that, and she is feeling some kind of way. So she talked to Rashid about it, and he is still feeling disrespected. So he sat down and talked to the men about it because now they're trying to decide which two ladies are going to be sent home this week. So, let me just stop and say this. Some people have their preferences. Some of us like dark chocolate, some of us like milk chocolate. But in the end, all of us are kings and queens, and we need to respect each other as such. But when Rashid went to the men in Tommy's Tavern and told them about the conversation that he had with Denise, some of the men were feeling some kind of way about Denise, basically shading Rashid just because of his skin tone. And even Calfani, who was her number one draft pick, was looking and he spoke out against it. So hopefully that won't keep Denise from going further on in this love land search for her king. So she's not the only one. We also saw that Simone, the attorney, right here with the long wavy hair, it gives me the impression that she is having Simone, I would just think with her being an attorney, she would not be so shallow. She seems to be kind of shallow, and that she wouldn't be so insecure. She comes across to me as insecure. It's like if she's not the cutie on duty, then she feels threatened. Her role feels threatened. And that's what led her to try to throw Jay under the bus when it came to him visiting Winter's room. So let's go back. So here is Simone, and she's getting confronted by Winter and Joy, because remember last week when Simone saw Jay go into Winter's room, I was only there for a few minutes, but it's a dating show. So even though Jay likes Joy, he also likes Winter. Those are his two top draft picks. And so essentially he was trying to spend some time with Winter. Simone saw it. Simone picked the opportunity when Jay was with Joy to bring up, oh, I saw you in Winter's room. What was that all about? Because she's not her hazel eyes and her long wavy hair is not getting her the attention that she apparently gets from people all the time. And so now that she's in a room full of other confident women, or let me just say confident women, who don't have to worry about standing out because of their looks, then she is acting out. So she took it upon herself to try to throw Jay under the bus, And Joy goes to Winter and says, Winter, you probably don't know this, but Simone made you look real bad by saying that you were in there doing something in your room with Jay, and we need to get with her on that. So they pulled Simone to the side, and before it was all over with, Simone was crying, Joy was crying, and Winter was crying. Okay, so they all started crying. But they hugged it out, and they are better for it. Now, this next set of this love triangle. Now we know Brian. Let's go. Brian likes Alex. Brian and Alex have become that's Brian and Alex. Brian and Alex have become kind of like an item. But again, it's a dating show. So Brian, Alicia, let's go to Alicia. Alicia was feeling like, now that's Alicia. She's feeling like her opportunity to find love was passing her by because maybe nobody stood out to her or she stood out to nobody. So she took it upon herself to ask Brian out to shoot her shot with Brian. So Brian went ahead, even though he likes Alex and pretty much has chosen Alex as his number one draft pick. He goes out with Alicia. They go to her room. I told you last week how messy her room was. Her bed wasn't made up, and she's still inviting people in. She got crumbs all over the table from eating cereal in the middle of the night and frosted flakes and stuff in the bed, and she still invited a man to her room. Anyway, he agreed to come back and watch a movie, but on the way to his room, because he really didn't come back, on the way to his room, he stopped in Alex's room. And just to say goodnight, because again, he and Alex are an item. Well, Shay, with her nosy self throwing shade, runs down to Alicia, tells Alicia, hey girl, I saw your man over in Alex's room. So now when Brian decided not to go back to Alicia, now Alicia feeling some kind of way. She's feeling left out like the middle of a donut. And she goes to Alex and says, girl, I don't think you want to trust him no more because he didn't come back. He ain't for real. He ain't up front. And so that's what Shay did. And Alicia, because Shay started it off by even going to Alicia and telling her about it. So Shay and Alicia got up in Alex's face and told Alex, Alex, I don't know if you want to trust him because he ain't really, all that trustworthy. So let's see if we can speed this up. Okay, so that's Jay talking to Joy, and they going over what happened. And so now here we are. When Alicia left, parted ways with Brian, he was supposed to be coming back to her room, but he stopped off in Alex's room, and then he went on his way to his room. He didn't go back to Alicia's room, but he messed up because he should have gone back to Alicia and said, you know what, Alicia, I just rather not, this, I'm not feeling it, or however he was going to put it. But he admitted to Tommy during the tavern talk that he has a problem with rejecting people or being honest when he knows the underlying issue is he don't want to be with you. And so now Alicia's feeling put out. She's playing the victim role. She's now running to Alex, trying to get Alex to be against Brian so they can like gang up on him. And essentially it didn't turn out like that, or it did for Alicia. Alicia got to tell Brian how she felt. But if I was Alex, that would have been a sign for me that, wait a minute, he was supposed to be coming back to your room, but instead he came to my room and said goodnight and then went back to his room. That is telling me that he really cares about me. So Alicia, in the meantime, is trying to make Brian feel bad because he didn't like her. And Sometimes you ain't, you're not the favorite. That doesn't mean, and I'm sure she knows this, that doesn't make you any less worthy of love, or it doesn't make you any less attractive because one individual doesn't like you. Like I just said, sometimes people just prefer something else. And his preference, Brian's preference, is leaning towards Alex. It's not leaning towards Alicia. So you just gotta, suck it up and keep it moving, and maybe clean up your room and clean up those crumbs and make up your bed before you invite the man in, and maybe he'll come back and watch a movie with you. Just facts. So that's what happened with that. And Shay is the instigator. She always instigating. That's why I don't really keep up with Shay that much. But anyway, Shay realized, okay, I'm losing out here, and I need to do something to get somebody's attention. So there she is with her butt all up in Rashid's face. She just like randomly just turned around and put her butt in somebody's face. It don't make no sense. But anyway, it made so much no sense that Shay was one of the ladies to get booted off this week. Now, so I called it. I was halfway right. I called it Shay was going to get booted, and I said Denise was going to get booted. And Denise was not booted, but they did give her a stern talking to because of how she was shading Rashid with the narcissism talk. And so that helped, Kalfani spoke up for her essentially to the fellas and was like, look, Denise is my number one draft pick. And because he's kind of like the rooster of the crew, if you like her, man, we'll keep her around type situation. Nobody had feelings for Shay. Ain't nobody got no feelings for Shay. So Shay was an easy, you're fired. She was the easy one. And then because of the issues that came about with Alicia and nobody else really feeling Alicia, plus she came off on Brian all like he had victimized her when really he just didn't really like her. So Alicia went home. So Chris had to tell Alicia she was going home. Kalfani sat down with Denise and kind of like gave her a tongue lashing about how she should, watch what she says about people. And that led Denise to realize, you know what? You're right. I'm going to open up. I'm going to not prejudge as much. And so Kalfani might find himself falling down a draft pick or two, because we find that Denise and Anthony started vibing with each other, because she opened up and went to play croquet or whatever that was. She, they got to start playing games together. And Anthony, which in the beginning, Anthony didn't stand out to me either. And it didn't seem like he was vibing with that many people, although in the beginning, the first introduction that Anthony and Denise had, they made an impression on each other, but she was so stuck on, how you just get stuck on an individual because of the way they look, or there's something about them that attracts you to them, and you just hone straight in on them, and all these other people who are not as charismatic, maybe you don't pick up on them as fast because you're so busy looking at the peacock with all the colors, the rooster with all the colors, when really, again, that caterpillar hasn't quite turned into a butterfly yet, but you're so busy over here. So I think it's kind of like a slow developing relationship between Anthony and Denise, because they played a little game or two, and then they got close and laughing and talking. And so she realized, you know what? I'm having a good time. So apparently she lost some type of bet, and then she went in half skinny dipping, half naked, and dove into the pool. And so they left us with letting us know, and hopefully letting Denise know that you have to open yourself up to other experiences with other people, because one, Calfani's doing the same thing. So he hasn't chosen you completely, although he did kind of save you, but he hasn't chosen you completely. So you need to let others see that you are open and available, and you're not putting all your hopes into one dude who has not even promised you anything, has not even committed to you. So that essentially is what happened last week. And here's what I think is going to happen next week. Next week, the friend girls of the ladies are going to be at the resort, and they're going to be questioning and meeting the draft picks of their friends to see what they're about. Now, y'all know, men and ladies, y'all know a man can give you a vision of be the pillar of strength. But when you start asking detailed questions like we can ask, then you start seeing cracks in that pillar. So that's what's I think is going to happen next week, when the friend girls and the sister girls start coming around asking questions, and pointed questions, not no around the bush questions, but straight up, how much money you make and how you going to split the bill, and what do you think about this? See, remember, that's what got David put off the show, because he was talking about how he didn't think he should have to be financially responsible for some stuff, and they sent him packing. So, fellas, take heed. If you want to be the top draft pick, you're going to have to come not only with the looks, but you're going to have to come with the loot. Okay? And that's it. So hopefully you've enjoyed this rewind of Ready to Love Last Resort. So to find out more about the things that I care about, you can go to the written version of my journal. It's at eurweb.com. Thanks, and have a super day.